Yeah, you good. Yo, what's happening? What's good? What's good in the hood? What's up, MNFL? What's happening? We're back once again for another episode of Around the MNFL Live. Episode 6. We got 4 OG coaches in the building today. We're going to get right into it. We got some good topics today, controversial topics in its own right, so we're going to get right to it. First, we're going to do a quick introduction to everybody that's here today. We're going to go from left and right. We're going to go D-Bev, owner of the Ravens. What's up, Bev?
What up?
All right. Next up, we got Rellyville, the owner of the Jets.
What's up, y'all?
All right. And we got the OG, triple OG, Mr. Ty himself, owner of the Bears.
That's good. It's good.
And the OG, triple OG, Mr. Ty. And last but not least, the DOD himself, Mr. Five, owner of the Giants.
What's happening?
Indeed. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of different format today. We got 4 topics today, and we're gonna go through 4 topics today instead of 3 in the open forum, and then we're gonna do a 1-minute wrap up at the end. So sit tight, pour your drink, and do what you gotta do. So we're gonna get going. All right, first up on the docket today is Madden simulation. Is Madden simulation scripted by any means? We're going to start off with 5 since the screen is on him. We're going to start off with 5, bro. We're going to put 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. And if I'll give a brief overview about what I mean with this topic, I'll say as well. There's been a lot of buzz around the community from, ever since we went to next gen, but it's current gen now, the Frostbite engine, and when they separated the modes and things of that nature. And some people hearken to the fact that they think that because Madden has simulation mode and it's a random occurrence type of mode where it's supposed to be trying to produce more authentic topic things that happen in a game that happen in the NFL. So we're trying to get their people's opinion on what they feel about the idea of it being things that happen automatically, or one scenario triggers this scenario. If you get up by too many points, all of a sudden fumbles and interceptions and turnovers start happening. Do people feel like that particular aspect of the game is scripted to keep games closer, to keep it more competitive and things of that nature? So we're gonna start out with 5 and see what his take is on it, and we're gonna move on down the line. All right, 5, you up?
I don't know if it's me, but your mic sound crazy. You know what I mean? I heard it was you like going in and out.
Really?
But
Yeah, same thing.
Interesting. Hold on. Make sure everything's connected properly. Is that better?
I mean, it still sounds like you in a swimming pool, though.
Swimming pool? Really?
It has that, yeah. But I heard a little bit of what you were talking about, though. I've been saying that, though. I mean, I remember on the first show we talked about something like that,
Right.
where it's simulation mode is a little bit scripted because it plays like you should play. So, again, like going for fourth down, the game will make you do something where, the situation doesn't warrant you going for it on fourth down. The game will, you'll turn all of a sudden to be an interception where you overthrow a guy by 10 yards and the safety will come pick it off, run it back. That's like the penalized, you know what I mean? So, running the same play, crazy stuff like the game will fumble. And it goes back to what I was saying before about, if you have teams that are like animation or simulation and all of that, it I don't know, man. It's all scripted to me, just like the whole animation game. You know what I mean? It's all the same thing. But teams are, if the team is better than the user, you know what I mean? It's going to be tough for that user, to beat that team because it's supposed to happen that way. And that's really what this whole scripted thing is about. Is stuff supposed to happen that way in the game, so that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I've been saying that. So that's just part of simulation because it wants it to play as a real NFL game. So, and that's part of it. Like I said before, if they can find a way to fix it to where it works like it's supposed to, because like if the guys are running out of their brakes in snow, they'll slip and fall. Or if you throw them 50 times in the snow in a simulation game, you probably threw 5 or 6 interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of fumbles. So it tries to mimic the NFL gameplay on a real life setting.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely share that sentiment. I think we did talk about that once before, about how certain things happen at a certain time and automatically it's always at the wrong time.
Right, like going for a play action pass on a deep scenario, like 3rd and 13, you're gonna go play action.
Right.
It's like you're gonna get sacked.
Right.
So the game's gonna make that happen because it's a terrible scenario.
Right. Yeah, that one's not so bad, but like I said, the idea of that your wide receiver never slipped the whole entire time. They've been playing in the rain the whole game, but when it's third and crucial, to go and the game's on the line, all of a sudden he slips. Is that a scripted scenario, or you get an animation that's when the game is on the line, when you don't never get that animation in other times, things of that nature.
Look at simulation as if somebody's paying the refs.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow.
Just look at it like that. Like the ref is being paid off. Like all of a sudden you're gonna see a bogus play, and then dude gonna pick it up and run it for 60.
Right.
And you ain't gonna come nowhere near catching it.
Right. Exactly.
That's simulation, bro.
And it'd be a lineman that get it. Like he running for 80 yards and nobody can catch him. Right. I got you. Okay. All right. Well, let's move over to Tile next.
It's a good question. I know I have this.
What you step on?
I know I have this conversation all the time.
We didn't have the. Oh shit, my fault.
Yeah, mute your mic, Fad.
I know we talk about this. I know Jarrell and I talk about this when we play offline games, but there's definitely something. I think what they do with division games, it always ends up being like you could be up 20, 21, feeling good, and all of a sudden Uncle Mo changed direction and you don't know how it happened.
Mm-hmm.
You start fumbling. I had to play yesterday, even though it wasn't a division game. I was playing proto. Third and one. I haven't missed a comeback route all game. I knew the blitz was coming. Max protected. Comeback's wide open. He throws this shit 7 yards to the right.
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere to this guy for no reason. At a moment in the game where it's like, if I get this first down, I can wrap this joint up.
Right.
Start milking a little clock. No, done. Like now, all of a sudden, now I'm back in the game.
Right.
So I think Madden does definitely bring you, like they definitely haul you back in when you start getting far.
Mm-hmm.
You have to like kind of break past that barrier. If you beat somebody by 40, it's over. Like they ain't coming back.
Right.
But if it's close, they'll find a way. Like late that game yesterday, fumbled randomly. I hadn't fumbled all game.
Mm-hmm.
Tried to put it away. I get the first down. Right after that first down, here comes the fumble. You know, like where'd that come from? Like just out of the blue.
Right.
So, but they definitely, I do agree with Five. They definitely punish you if you run the same play over and over again. They will punish you. You run the same route. Sometimes they will punish you. It's like they do it in the background, but if you really pay attention, you'll see it. You know, but they try to do it on the slide, and it's just their way of controlling a shitty game. That's, you know what I'm saying? Is there a way of trying to give some level of control to a game that they know is not perfect and it's not where it needs to be after 15 years?
Right.
So they're trying to, that's what they're doing in the background. But yeah, what you gonna do?
Yeah. I even go as far as saying injuries come into play sometimes. Like you got a guy that never gets hurt, and he's like a impact player, and all of a sudden game is tight, and he's killing, and all of a sudden boom, he goes down injury. He might not be injured for long, but he got definitely out of that game. Bruce sternum or whatever they call it.
Keeping him in the game when you're killing somebody,
right?
You know what I mean. Keeping the player in the game, and all of a sudden he fumbles or he's hurt
right.
for 8 weeks.
Right.
You should have took him out the game. He has 400 yards rushing.
No shots though. No shots. No shots. All right, let's move over to Rel.
It's on me, right?
Yeah, it's on you.
All right. Yeah, I think it's something, man. Like, I don't know if it's scripted, but like, I noticed like it's some games that you play that like you can tell that they don't want you to win at all. Like stuff just happening. You like, yo, this is crazy. This is crazy.
Five laughing.
Like you lost before you even kicked off your game.
Facts.
First couple plays.
Yeah, and it's like, damn, and it's like it's you have certain games where every bounce goes the other person's way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like, damn, like, I can't catch a break. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, I had a game on the last season, and I threw a bomb, scored like touchdown. They called holding. The next play, my quarterback got sacked, fumbled. They picked it up and scored.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
And I got the ball back again. I drove to the red zone, and I fumbled. They picked it up, ran it back. So it's like, yo, like
it's hard to say it isn't, right?
Yeah, like it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Then I kick it off to them at a half, I get a face mask.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, I'm not gonna win this game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I believe it's something about, you know what I'm saying, even when like they were talking about the missed passes, like it'd be certain times like you didn't got this off and it's been perfect, you know what I'm saying? And then when you really need it,
right,
they throw this shit out of bounds.
Exactly.
Like
99 accuracy. 99 accuracy throw shit out of bounds. Yeah.
The roll is out of bounds, man. Like I might lead the league in missed drag routes. Like he throws the ball. I'm like, yo, what is this dude doing? Like it's like this season that we're in right now. Like it's not even. I don't even really get mad. It's like funny.
Right.
Like I just be laughing because like I'm like, yo, this dude gonna miss another drag route. Like I might lead the league. Like he either throw it in the dirt or throw it out of bounds.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I think it's something. I just don't know what it is. I think it's something that they do, you know what I'm saying, that's kind of scripted, you know what I'm saying? But then what's the alternative? You know what I'm saying? It's like
You know,
What's
that's gonna get fired back on his competitive hype train. So I don't even want to go there. But I mean, I do want to harp.
I ain't bring it up. I'm just saying.
Oh, my fault.
That's what you asked was next.
I don't want to go there, but I don't. That's not the answer to me.
Right.
But
I would agree with
It's
that.
either or though. What you mean? It's either that or what we talking about right now.
Now,
yeah, I'd rather what we talking about right now. A nigga won with a punter and competitive. I'm done.
right. That's all need to be said.
All I gotta say is a dude won running the ball every time and with a punter at quarterback in competitive mode. I can't. That's where I'm at with it.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I don't know, but
Yeah,
I'd rather simulation too. But just saying, I mean, you're right. You know, my man just said he lead the league in drag route drop.
that's crazy.
That's simulation. Like, no, you ain't supposed to be throwing that, getting that wide open pass. He's supposed to get an interception. So you're gonna throw that right in the dirt. You're gonna throw that right in the dirt.
Yeah,
You do.
Yeah,
you're right.
And I'm glad you brought up penalties too, because I feel like penalties play a part, especially for me. Like you got guys, like I even went after guys in free agency and stuff like that that have good penalty traits on purpose, like just to prove a point. Like, and it's always lately when I get penalties, it's only me, and it's my best players that have good awareness, good penalty trait, and all this good jazz, and they get penalties at crucial times. And it'd be a situation where the other person that I'm playing against who has a worse record, like most of the time, that's another thing that plays into it too. When somebody has a worse record than you, that's typically when it goes sideways, when you feel like everything's going against you. That type of deal. So, you get holding penalties at crucial drives, you get fumbles, or you get, you're walking in for end zone and somebody blocks somebody in the back, ain't never did it all year, that type of stuff. So, I mean, I think penalties play into it too. So when you're looking at your game, if you only want getting called for penalties, it's something there. There's definitely driving that. But I mean, I agree we still should stay on simulation, but they need to tune it so it makes more sense. Like if I got a guy on the field that's 55 awareness and he got bad penalty trait, yeah, he should be called for holding every so often. Yeah, he should do this and do that. That makes sense towards his ratings. But Devontae Adams with a 99 overall awareness should not be holding every down. Like it just don't make any sense. You got a 99 overall lineman holding every down. That doesn't make any sense at all. So at least pick the worst player.
Just one thing to Five's point about the drags, things like that. Madden needs to get creative with the idea of simulation. Like you should be able to tell, like, yelling at your, everybody does this. You put a guy in a deep purple, and he still lets the ball just watch the ball move for his head.
Oh, don't tell me. Don't get me started.
You should be able to essentially call out routes.
Right.
Like you say that.
I'm about to lose my mind. Yo, I'm so glad you said that, bro. That drives me crazy.
I mean, if you know what comeback's coming, you should be able to be like real quick, just like an adjustment that they're making. When you see him tap his hand or do whatever, you should tell him sit in the comeback. It's a pass fail. If they run a streak and you come back, you should be like, all right. You should be that quarterback should be all over that. At least now it gets in the ratings. Is he going to knock it down? Is he going to pick it off? Is he going to pick it down and pick it up, pick it off and fall? Is he going to pick it off, take it to the house? Like that's where the ratings come in. So when somebody tells you the drag, you should be able to tell that opposite linebacker, look, take a step back and then wait. Like he's coming. Like you don't worry about what's behind you.
Right.
So you get killed by a dig behind you. That's fine. You gave up the dig. But I want that drag to be laid out. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like those kind of things, they gotta get creative with. They haven't done that in 15 years.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Play right, yeah, that's just throwing that in there.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's move over to DBF to finish up the topic.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna say of certain individuals, names that rhyme with rents. Yeah, I mean that if, every time they
we
lose,
start already.
Oh my God. My man don't jump to the solo topic.
Right.
I'm just saying, it's certain individuals like that will only say that it happens when they lose. If it's going in their favor, all right. But I'm gonna say I think my comment was gonna be in line with sort of what Tyler was talking about. I do think they have some like fuzzy logic in there to overcompensate for the lack of development everywhere else in the game. I think it's a lot of situational. I mean, which is good. There's a lot of situational, things that happen, and I think it is based on like traits. I think it is based on like the clutch trait and things like that. If you have it or if you don't in crucial moments. I do think they take all of those little details into account. So I think sometimes you may overlook like the traits that certain players have and just say, oh, it's just some BS that they threw in here. But I do think it actually plays into their little fuzzy logic that they have in those type of situations. I I personally I'm for it because again it goes both ways. Like I can see if it's like it always happens and it's never in your favor. I mean, and I just think it's it adds some, I guess I don't want to call it flavor, but
You can just say cheese. That's
no,
all.
it ain't cheese. I think it just adds some suspense, some character to the game. You know what I mean? It adds
Yep.
something to it.
You
I
in the
mean,
food category? It's cheese. Velveeta. That's what
this
it
gonna
has.
be wild, man. I mean, because
Think
I look
about
at
it.
it.
But hold on, Bev. Listen, I'm sorry, I won't cut you off, and I'm gonna shut up. I promise. But think about it. Some of the X Factor traits are scripts. So when this person gets into a zone,
That's big
get
facts
so many
right there.
tackles, it's going to create a script in itself. So that's telling you right there that the game is scripted. So
Well, I mean, you still got to call the play. You still got to time your pass. You still got to run with the running back. You know what I mean? It's
you sound like oh, never mind. I'm about to go
no. Hear me out. Listen, hear me out. Hear me out. I think there's much more flaws than
Let me
there's.
tie your hand behind your back and let's box.
Where I done lost my train of thought. I was going to comment on Rel's comment about what's the alternative. Other than talking about competitive, I think there are alternatives on EA side that they can do to sort of create that flavor. You know what I mean? Without the BS. You shouldn't have people holding that are 99 overall in every category in crucial moments like that. You shouldn't have people slipping, that are 99, route running. It just shouldn't happen. So, but I don't know. Like I said, I'm personally more for it than I am against it.
I mean, if it was truly balanced and it, like I said, it played towards the ratings, it makes more sense to me. But to have it be a random occurrence at the wrong time, like that's my biggest gripe about it. Be a random occurrence at the wrong time. Like, don't wait till the fourth quarter to give me the bullshit. Like, give it to me in the first quarter, second quarter, where I can overcome it. But don't be my last drive for the guap. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to, win a game or hell, a playoff game for that matter. And it'd be a situation where I am, being penalized, by a random occurrence or random scripted outcome that I can have no control over. I can build my team all the way around. Everybody can have balanced penalty trading. Everybody have 99 awareness. But guess what? This random occurrence, this random script that's going to execute at the wrong time when I'm, driving for the money is going to, play into the game and play into the outcome. And I don't think that's something that needs to be in the game personally. It could be in the game, but don't automatically say that the execution statement in the code says that this only happens in the fourth quarter. Make it happen in the first quarter, make it happen in the second quarter. When it's not, it's detrimental. That's my biggest gripe. But all right, that was a good first topic. It's actually the next topic we want to get into is actually a piggyback off of this particular topic. All right, so next up is will Madden be more authentic in next gen? What I mean by authentic, will those type of things play out in more of a smooth manner and make it more like the real NFL game? All right, so we're gonna start with Babs. He's shaking his head already, so I'm gonna start with you. You tell me.
Goddamn well, it's not. They are not touching anything with simulation, that it is what it is. Until there's some healthy competition from a 2K Sports or whoever else want to enter the field to compete, it's not going to happen. They're making money doing what they're doing. The NFL is happy, so there's nothing
There's no
encouraging
incentive
them
right.
to make any changes.
Right.
So it is what it is. I mean, I said it last week. Like I'm tired of it. Like it's no point to even complain about it no more. It's just you either accept that this is what it's going to be and move on, or count your losses and dip. I don't know, man.
You know what we sound like at this point? Battered women. Like, for
I don't
real.
want to leave the man that's beating him.
Right. That's basically what we said. We sound like battered women.
Like, think about it.
Like, he ain't gonna stop beating me.
Y'all making all y'all want y'all cake and eat it too. Y'all don't want this issue, but then y'all don't want to even look at competitive because the guy won the league with a punter. So we're gonna sit and talk for hours about all the shit that they making up for what us to do. What's the difference? So it's like, I'm tired of being hit. But he told me he didn't mean it. He didn't mean it.
Right. He told me he loved me, so I'm gonna let it go.
I'd rather have total control of the game, the outcome, the all of that. So I'm not saying competitive because I ain't for competitive. I don't even know how I got tagged with that. I'm just trying to make it make sense. Trying to sell y'all on the shit that y'all telling me. Like, okay, so what's the next step? I hate this. I hate that. So what would you do?
Yeah.
I'm not doing the other stuff though.
I mean, that's why I brought up the topic. I mean, we can Bev can rebuttal to this particular point. Like, let's take 360 to Xbox One, and then now we're talking about Xbox One to next gen. Is there going to be an starch difference? I mean, would that allow them? That's the biggest thing we should answer. Will that allow them to make it better and more authentic and more NFL like? That's the biggest thing.
I don't think it's. Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying we had this conversation in the chat one time that they really need to take the approach of like two different games. You know what I mean? Like if you want the ball stuff, that the punter, the quarterback, and all that stuff.
Mute your mic, please. We got a lot of background noise with your mic.
Oh, my mic?
No, Five's mic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there we go.
If you want the cheese ball, the regular Madden cheese ball, like the shit you see on TikTok and Instagram, dudes running 50 yards this way, turning right, making a left-hand turn, signaling for coffee and throwing an 80-yard bomb, that's one game. If you want the add-on, like the competitive add-on, I'd pay the extra $10. They could milk me for an extra $10 to give me a full-blooded franchise mode where you have, instead of having just like the sliders you have, you can adjust anything, whether it's contract lengths, caps, injuries, like your coach, everything. You have full control. So you can it can be like one of the nerdy, like World of Warcraft type levels of control. You know what I mean? Like you could do everything. That's where it should be. Fully customizable. You could have that joint flying, and I pay the extra 10, 15. I even probably pay another $50 for it. I'm gonna play it all year.
Right.
But they don't want, but they just want to cater to the MUT crowd and the quick money. Right. They missing out. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would satisfy every franchise's gripe. Every person that plays franchise gripe, that would settle it. If you have full control and full immersion about your whole entire experience, you can cater to how you wanted to. Nobody would complain at all. I mean, that's a big fix. Like, I'm never sure how long that would even take to develop, but that's a big fix. And if they did that, just give you total control, then. Absolutely. Like, we wouldn't have nothing to complain about because it will be in our hands. Like, your game experience on the field would be dictated how you tune your sliders, period.
I mean, think about it. Even from a rules perspective. You put it just like you have your custom rules in a fantasy football league.
Right.
These are the rules of, all the fourth down rules we have, all the, play call, like all that stuff. You could actually enforce all that just through the game. Yeah. You don't even have to worry about it. Like, these are the rules. You can't break them.
Set it and forget it.
You don't worry about nobody cheating, nobody, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or something, none of that stuff. Like, you're the rules. This is the way it is. It would be, they could start small steps, add a few things at a time, but just giving us some level of control over, like our experience is the way to start. Give us 15 pieces of a franchise we can adjust. That's a start, and make it work. Why does the holding slider reverse every year?
Right.
Why does the holding slider reverse every year? Like, it shouldn't have to be that hard.
It shouldn't. I mean, if anything, make it a one-to-one thing. Like I said, it could be a reverse slider one year, then it could be an actual, legit slider the next year, and you don't know until you start playing it. You got to test it like you're a damn developer to figure out exactly what works and what doesn't. And people don't pay money for that. You know what I mean? You pay people in your company to do stuff like that. So why are we doing it? But that's a whole nother conversation.
Think about how lazy they are.
Yeah.
We pay daddy leagues $30 a year.
Yep.
Right. For a great experience. I never complain about daddy leagues. Like, it's, sometimes it's a little quirky, but the joint works.
Right.
And their app is trash.
It is. It's horrible.
And nobody uses it.
Mm-hmm.
And only thing you use it for maybe is advanced every once in a while, but it's trash.
I don't even trust that. Like we've had an issue in the past where we try to advance from the app and it double advanced. So I don't trust that either. So I mean, I tell everybody in the front office, like, look, I don't advance from the app at all. Like that's the last resort. Like we all got to be out and about, and we gonna be hours before we return. I don't know if to push that button. I don't trust it. You know, so that goes to show how trash it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's move on to Rel. See what he got to say about it.
So the question is, do I think it's going to get better with the next gen? Is that what the question was? Probably not. I mean, I don't know, man. Like, I'm sure, so when it went from 360 to Xbox One, the first game on Xbox One how was it in compared to the 360 game? Was it kind of stripped down a little bit?
Well, it was kind of mid-cycle because they kind of what they're doing this year. It was Man 25, and Man 25 came out on next gen Xbox One, but most people still playing 360. So we didn't even get to play the next gen until the very next man, which was Madden 15. So in Madden 15, like, you know, that's when we got into the patch era, because, you know, before then, they didn't ever patch the game. They set it and forget it. It came out and it was what it was for the whole year. You know, so that's when they started doing the whole idea of being patching the game and stuff like that and fixing issues. Because a lot of people complaining about, you know, certain things not working properly, especially from a defense perspective. I think that was the first year that zones were really bad in the start. Like when they had to fix zones, they had to tweak zones, and they doubled down on the very next year, I think, where a certain threshold of zone recognition will automatically get you to jump on passes without provocation, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, it's one of those things where they had a lot of more. That's why I brought the topic up, because they had a lot more ability to do more things. Now the question is, what direction are they going to go? You know, are they going to make it better and make it more authentic, or are they going to go further down the rabbit hole and make it more garbage?
So what I hope, like, kind of like what Tyler was saying, like, I hope, like, more control. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I saw on 21 that you can set the yardage of your drops, and stuff like that, I think that was a good thing. You know what I'm saying? That's one good thing that they added. You know what I mean? Especially for someone like me, that's like a schemer more than a user.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like just scheming up different defenses and what should work against this and what you know what I'm saying, what your in defense is what you're willing to give up. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
And then with the franchise, we just need some love, man. We neglected kids. You know what I'm saying? And I think that would be a start. I think they kind of trying to get the picture because they addressed it, you know what I'm saying? Because they got so much backlash about it, you know what I mean? So I'm hoping that, you know, I'm going to be hopeful, but history says no, but we'll see. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be positive and hope that, you know, we get a little bit more control, and it's like stuff that was in the game they took out and never brought it back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
right.
I don't know, it's just weird, man. Like, I don't know. It's just, I would like to know how they think, man. Like when we was talking about 2K5, like 2K5 got stuff in it that Madden still don't got. That was
15 years later.
15 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know, man.
You know,
I'm gonna be hopeful, man.
Yeah, and another reason why I brought this topic up is because, you know, looking at it from an IT perspective, it's computers. You know what I mean? So if you give me a bigger, stronger, faster, you know, more powerful computer, I'm allowed to do more things with that particular device. Right. You know, and the disk and the size of the games are larger and things of that nature. So I can put more data into it to make it better. Right. Now, that begs the question: if they want to have all this power and all this, you know, resources to be able to make a better game, you know, can they, or will they, or do they care? You know, that's my biggest gripe. You know, and I mean, it came at a good time. I mean, you know, the Madden franchise people picked a great time to get on them about it, because this is the year of the movement, you know. So, you know, anybody that gets any negative backlash, they gotta make a statement. They gotta say at least they're gonna try to, you know, be better. You know what I'm saying? So they picked a great time to get on them about franchise and how neglected it is. But in the same breath, I need to see action. You know, don't broadcast me in the public eye and say we care about you, we love you, and all that type of stuff in the back. But in the back room, you like, man, fuck them. I don't care. Like, we just gonna keep doing what we doing. Don't treat me like that. You know what I mean? Because at that point, I just need to turn the channel off and just do something else. And that's my biggest problem. And like I said, you have all the resources, you know, because once you get to this, you know, the one we plan on right now is a powerful device. So you tell me you're gonna give me a even bigger and badder device that's streaming native 4K and this and the third, and you telling me that you can't produce a better product? That's trash to me. You know what I'm saying? So that particular aspect, they got to do better. That's my biggest thing. You got to do better at this point. It's sink or swim. You have no excuses. You know, so Father, did you actively talk on the topic, or you just chimed in? You got anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, it's not for a lack of it's not for a lack of capabilities on the IT people, computer side, right? Like, or the willingness, right? So it's the willingness is not there. So it doesn't matter what system it's going to be on. You know what I mean? There's no willingness. All the things that Kyle said that would make this game worth $100, you put all that into a franchise mode. So it's willingness. So you can have all the better, I mean, forgive me, I'm not an IT guy, but you can have all the better graphic engines or whatever it is that comes on these next gen newer systems for what? Just to put the same product out and throw patches out. Maybe the patches will get out quicker. Right?
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's really what else is there left after that? So, but we still gonna buy the shit,
right?
We still gonna play it,
you know. And I guess, I mean, I'm not big in the 2K community. You know, I don't follow those guys as much as I follow Madden people. You know, but from what I've seen in the matriculation of Madden people, like people that used to be like content creators and Madden heads and tournament players, they matriculated into working for EA. You know. And my thing is this: instead of, you know, homegrown and grooming people to be, you know, employees for your company, why are you not spending these millions of dollars that you're making off MUT and hire better developers?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because there's a couple of cats that work for EA now that have say so in the development of game. You know, from a console perspective, you know, they don't write no code. They don't do anything computer wise. They don't do any design. They just giving ideas, and hopefully the people that can write the code can execute it. But
right, so
you got
then you're saying it right there. The game is built off of competition. So when the game is built off of people that, you know, like you said, right? You know, you live long enough to see yourself be the villain.
Right.
Right. So the people that play in competition, they turn around and they keep building it. Or if I had this ability, I would do this and I could do that. When the game is built off stuff like that, it takes all that away. You know what I mean? It just makes it turns into something that is not really football. It's more like everyone's been saying, catered to a different community.
Right.
So,
right. Yeah, I mean, they treat it like it's a young man's game, and the young man don't really care about the things we care about. You know, we want a good experience. They just want to have fun. You know,
I do like the fact that they are getting around the NFL a little bit more, right? You'll see EA Sports at practices. You'll see EA Sports at games. Like, they're making a conscious effort to actually get in there and try, or maybe it's just public perception, right?
Well,
the officer don't do shit.
I think that's just politics, because the people that are around those particular environments are former NFL players and things of that nature. Like, the head game designer is a former offensive lineman. So he's out there, and a few other people that were football purists are out there because that's what they naturally enjoy. So they go and volunteer for stuff like that. Volunteer, be it a Pro Bowl, volunteer, be it OTAs and workouts and stuff like that, doing Madden ratings and stuff like that, because that's what they do. They just been around it so long. That's their lane. I don't see no developers and people that write the game out there. They're not out there. They in the back, you know, drinking Coke and, you know, trying to keep acne off their face. I don't know, but they're not at the games.
I mean, that's what these kids look at. They're on Twitter. They're looking at, these ratings are changing. Like, when what's his name? Derrick Henry had that run 2 years ago. Like, and everybody was like, his stiff arm need to be a 99.
Right.
And the hype around, now his stiff arm's a 99. Like, that's the surface effect. Like, it's, it's the stuff that, all right, his boots are up, but it don't translate to the core, like the heart of the game, the code. You know what I mean? It's fluff. It's all fluff.
Yeah, it is. That's a great word for it. It's all window dressing. It's all window
Above
dressing.
my pay grade, there, Darius. That's pretty damn smart of you.
Right.
The one note though, right? So for years they've always said that they take stuff out because either the platform can't handle it or there's not enough memory, right? That's always been an excuse.
Right.
But when you look at a game like Red Dead Redemption, right, and you look at just the scope and size of a game like that, the graphics in that, I don't know if y'all have ever played it.
That game is crazy.
The graphics in that game and the detail in that game, and you're like, there's no way that Madden doesn't have enough space. And they can even recycle stuff they've already done. They can recycle the combine where you had to run the 4.340 and you had to do the weightlifting. Like all that stuff was fun.
Right.
They can recycle some of that stuff they had in college football. And they can bring into Madden where if you're on the road, like you're a rookie, like when you were a freshman, your route would shake. You know what I mean? You basically couldn't audible to that receiver because he was nervous.
Right. I forgot about that.
That's a dope feature.
It is.
Yeah, it is. The whole route would be squiggly.
Yeah, right.
So like your quarterback was young, he didn't have no swagger. He couldn't even audible at all.
Right.
Stuff with the play.
Right.
That's things to bring into. They can just bring all the old stuff and bring it into now. Because there's no excuse. They don't have the excuse that we don't have the power, we don't have the memory, we don't have the processing speed. You have all of that.
All of it.
So you need to figure out a way to get this stuff back in the game. And it's
That's
all
dope, man.
It's all money.
That's dope.
They don't want to. They don't. It doesn't bring them money. You know what I mean? Like I said, they make us pay for franchise. We will pay, but they don't want to. You know, they're not marketing like that. They want to just get the money.
Right.
As it goes in, keep going.
Yeah.
That's crazy that you said. Hold on, real quick. That's crazy what he said. Think about it. That'll cut down the ability shit. If players really went by like their age and all that factored in, you know what I mean? You got these young quarterbacks. You wouldn't need to have. It would be such a separation from veterans and young quarterbacks in the league that you wouldn't need to have quarterbacks with certain abilities, or the receivers can't, or you know what I mean? Receivers can't do certain routes at you know what I mean, the first year. So I mean that's dope.
Yeah,
that's a great idea.
You should be getting the ability to run certain routes. Like if you have Michael Thomas, his short route running, right, quote unquote, he's got an attribute for it. And not to talk about 2K, but 2K has way more attributes per player, right? They have like way more detail and granularity.
Right.
But his route running on slants and the hooks and curls should be like out of this world, right? You need Stephon Gilmore to literally shut him down, right? But when he goes on the street, his route running should be shit.
It should, because he's not fast at all.
Absolute shit, but it's not. He can run a deep C route and be wide open every time because it's the way Madden works. You know what I mean? They don't put that effort in to say, okay, this is what it should be. And 5 is 100% right. It should be. We've always said it should be ratings. So when you draft a guy, none of us care about injury, none of us care about awareness. Like half that shit, half the stats don't even matter. Everybody just goes speed, hit power, throwing power, a couple of the stats per position that matter.
And height for you ain't gonna pick a 5'8" guy versus a 6'3" guy, but they got the same speed.
Like, nobody cares about none of the rest of that stuff.
Right.
They need to make that stuff matter. So when you get a guy with 55 injury, okay, I can only have him in the game. So like you should be able to focus on that guy and be like, look, he's gonna be a practice squad player, and they should give you the option. What do you want to focus on? Focus with him.
Right.
I want to focus on his injury and his training. So all his training should be to get his injury up, and you get points per player on those.
It used to be like that when you had the ability to do your own XP, like when you could spend your XP on what you wanted to do.
I was just about to ask. I'm about to ask that. Like, wasn't like awareness and stuff, play rec important like a couple years back? Like
3 years ago it was. Yeah, 3 years ago it was.
But it was the balance with that. Oh my bad, Rob. Go ahead.
No, you good. And that would make like playing without the abilities make sense more to me, because the good players still are better than the players that are not good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they took the abilities and tried to do something, and they went overboard.
Like they always do.
They went overboard. You know what I'm saying? But I remember like when I first got in this league, like you could like pick what you wanted to make better on the player. You know what I'm saying? Like my safeties, I would always, make sure their awareness was high, their play rec was high. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
And now that they changed, it is different, man. And
it's quite goofy if you ask me.
It's goofy as hell.
What's the alternative though? We used to complain about a Bobby.
No, but there
Yeah.
needs to be caps.
Right,
But see, Bobby's on a. We complain about Bobby, but he's in a league of his own. Like
he's the goat. He's the goat of the Gouda. The goat of the Gouda.
Like, for real. It was some other people that I ain't that was like corny to me, but he was on another like stratosphere. Like,
it's like he sat home all day and strategized to figure out. Right.
Yeah, he sat at home and tried to figure out ways to do bullshit, and he was good at it.
Absolutely.
I mean, when you draft a player, right? The whole concept of superstar, star, and all that stuff. It's again, they can do the basics. A plus player, B plus player. That's a potential.
Right.
If starting, then categories do get capped. Like you can't go above this speed. You can't go above this acceleration. You can't go above this route runner. Like that's the good as you're gonna get. Like when you have all 99s, it makes the game completely like then everything's pointless. Everybody's got the same shit.
Right.
I mean, like,
I'll take it a step further because it should be capped based upon your body type too. Like you shouldn't be 240 pounds to run 99 speed.
Yes.
That shouldn't happen.
It's too much colder though.
If you're Mason.
Right. Yeah. I mean, what was the cat name that Bobby had? There was 99 speed, but Niles Davis. Niles Davis, his ass. Like 99 speed, but fucking like 225 pounds, bro. Like, come on. There's nobody running a sub 4240 and running like Tyreek Hill, but you 220 some pounds, bro. That's not possible. So if you a certain weight, like if you 200 pounds, yeah, you can be that fast. But if you 225 pounds, you should not be anywhere above 92, 93 speed. That should be the cap. Something like that.
I think one year they actually tried that when you had your player had a type. It was like bruising fullback, something like that, or like speed. I think they still call that, but like shifty receiver, like like a
archetype. Yeah.
So they going back to that would make sense. It's like, all right, I'm drafting a guy that's a hard hitting running back, right? Like a power back.
Right.
So this can't go above 85.
Right.
He will truck the hell out of a corner.
Right.
After I get him to the edge, I'm getting at least 5 yards because he ain't gonna tackle me. Right. And people can't complain. They're like, hey, he's 250 pounds. My corner is 180. Even if he goes low, he probably still gonna get run over. He gonna fall forward. You know what I mean?
Like a lot of business decisions.
But they've done that though, didn't they? I mean, I feel like they try their architect. I mean, with the wide receiver, you have a physical, you have a deep threat. Like, so they have architects, I should say, but
they don't have caps.
They don't have outside of the caps too. But okay, I have an archetype. I know that these players should be dominant in these areas. Mm-hmm. Still give you that flexibility to say, all right, this week I want to, work on my route runner. If he's a route runner, if he's a slot guy, I want to work on deep route. What I don't know, whatever. Like I don't know. It just feel like it's something missing.
I think we're on the right track though. I think we're all on the right track in the sense that the archetype and I shouldn't be allowed to spin my XP the way I want it. And the archetype should matter. So when you see that slider that you're allowed to boost, it should be cut off at a certain number. And that's it. Like if you have a power back, his speed slider and his acceleration slider are cut off at like 90. It should realistically it should cut off at like 90, and you can't go above that.
Or just make the cost more.
Well, that's the thing. They tried that. They tried that, but people just save the XP. Like he would just sit on the bench, or he would get all these awards.
Outrageous. Like trying to raise strength. Remember how much it used to cost to try to raise strength?
Truth.
On certain positions.
True.
Like,
yes.
Like 600,000 million XP.
Right.
God damn. You should have raised one strength. Like my dude could have been in the Pro Bowl.
Right.
You shouldn't even, but like things like speed and acceleration, it should be like a couple of points is like all you can move no matter what.
Right.
Dudes will get but so much faster when they get in the league.
I agree. Maybe 1 or 2 points at the most.
They get 4.2.
Right.
They moved for 5 years. They still 4.2, if not 4.4 now.
Right.
Like they're not getting faster. But the fact that you take a guy that's like 80 speed and bump him up to 90, 95 speed makes no sense
at all.
Like that kills the whole point of drafting. Like you need to draft a guy that does what you need him to do.
Hey, so, I got a question for y'all though. Mm-hmm. So how do you deal with someone like Deshaun Jackson, right? Who based on age should be slow. But he doesn't look like he's getting slower.
No, he plays. Yeah, he's still fast.
But not everybody is like that though. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that plays into body type, but what I'm saying, because Deshaun is a small guy. So naturally,
Right,
he don't have a lot of drag wind resistance because he's smaller. So he won't get as slow as fast as Julio would. Julio was 6'3", 200 and some pounds. So he getting 34, 35 years old. He should decline in speed. But with Deshaun being smaller guy, he should decrease in speed much slower, especially if he's an X factor. Because that's how they do it. X factors and things like that, speed don't drop as quickly as a normal guy would. But if you producing, that's another thing they left out of the game. They put it in the game last year and they took it back out. If you're producing and you're a high development guy, you keep your attributes more so. Versus if you're not producing and you're not making plays and not on the field like that, and you start to get older, then you start to decline in your attributes. They should bring that back as well. That's another thing that they'll balance the regression. The regression is all over the place.
Yeah, no, I agree, because if you got a guy that's sitting on the bench, right, even if he's like a younger guy or whatever, if you're not giving him time, he should be the one complaining. He should be in the coach's office.
Right.
And he's losing points as he's going.
Mm-hmm.
So like Bob was saying earlier, if you got a running back in the game that's running for 400 yards and you got a back on the bench that hasn't, that gives you more idea. Like, let me get this guy in the game.
Right.
If I can get him some XP, get him some points, get him some burn, and so his morale will go up, whatever. Like, that should be part of it. If you ain't playing a guy, he should be going down.
I agree.
Like just a little bit by little bit, or you got to be doing something in practice to keep his morale up.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole idea of just the way that the franchise should work. You should be interacting with players. You should be, outside of salary cap and ownership stuff, but just like the day-to-day interaction with your team, even though it sounds goofy, that's what goes on. You know what I mean? So they had that in the game at one point, and they got rid of it.
Yeah, and bring back practice mode. Like, you should be able to say that if a guy had a good week in practice, meaning his morale is up and his attributes go up temporarily, I mean, he might have a good game because he had a good week of practice. But if he had a bad week of practice, then he might shit the bed. That's just fact. He might shit the bed.
Like, y'all remember how expansive NCAA 14 was, yo? Like,
oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Like that the off season was a whole.
It was a whole deal. Like, you spend time on that shit. You spent hours doing that shit. Like for real. Man. Yeah, it was crazy. All right, so that was good. That was a good way to wrap up that topic. Anybody got any rebuttals before we move on? Okay, I'll take the silence as a no. All right, so we move on to the third topic of the day. All right. Now, going back to Madden 20. The question and the topic is, what was your biggest problem personally in Madden 20? I'm just gonna leave it open and I'm not gonna even caveat it with, because I know what most people are gonna say, but I want you to do something that's really, 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 really like stuck in your craw, word to Skip Bayless, that really bothered you about the game that you hope that's not in the next year's game. I'm gonna start with 5.
Your mic. I mean, I'd have to say what's wrong with Madden 20. From a gameplay standpoint, the abilities.
Okay.
From a overall franchise mode, everything we just talked about is not a part of the game. The willingness. So willingness and abilities, right? But again, everything that y'all was just talking about don't make no money, fellas.
It don't.
Everything that we were saying, it doesn't make any money
at all.
The only thing you could do is a one-time charge, like Kyle said, $50 or something. But they're making millions off mud. So again, I don't ever think it's going to be there until, like Bev said again, competition, brings out the best in everything.
Right.
So that's if 2K is able to do their own thing, but.
Let me ask you a question, Five. Like prime example, like take Call of Duty. I'm not sure how they do it now because I haven't played Call of Duty this year, but in past Call of Duties, they'll make you pay for updates. Like, you could pay the game as it was, or you could pay for updates. So they would say that we're coming out with a new patch for franchise. You could pay $10 as a whole to get this update.
But what would the patch do, though? That's the only thing. The franchise is a mode that doesn't require maintenance. So what could you possibly patch? The only thing you're patching is gameplay improvements, because we determine how a player is progressing, how the league progresses, how the franchise progresses, total control.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing you could put into franchise mode that wouldn't be considered, cheese, because you're altering a franchise that was built on 32 users.
Right.
So and that's how, like, with those games, like we were saying, like I said before, like with Elder Scrolls, like they'll just keep patching it, right? They'll patch with different updates and different, abilities and weapons and skins and all that stuff. But none of that matters with, Madden, because, except for the, the cards that you get in MUT.
Right.
So Madden 20 is just, I think it's you have to cater to where the money is. Am I mad at them? Yeah, because I spend my bread, but really, they're making bread and they're making money on the mode that brings in the revenue, which is it's a dead horse. Like, I feel like we say that every time, but I think if they just put a little bit of willingness into it and leave some things that work, carryover, right? Have carryover. Nothing wrong with that. You don't have to change everything every year.
Right.
Forget changing the buttons and give us a different, way to scout.
Yeah, they complained about that because they made them go back to the original button set because they changed it and everybody was like, nah, change that shit back, and they did.
Yeah, I mean, so stop focusing on stuff like that. Focus on what you can. If you just listen to the community, keep some things that work, add things that are different. You know what I mean? Every year before, Madden used to get more in depth in the franchise mode, but like you said, when they came onto the Xbox One, that's the land of patches. They didn't patch the 360.
No, they did.
So
at least they didn't actively patch it. They might have patched it behind the scenes, but they didn't patch it in front of our face.
Right. The only thing, we were happy that the rosters changed if you played online.
Facts.
Oh, so we got updates. We got the real rosters.
Right.
The real rosters. That was the highlight. But franchise was franchise.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you. Like I said, I mean, I was just spitballing about the idea that they would give us, even if it's more, like going back to Tyler's point, they would add more and more features for Total Control throughout the year. Like they would keep adding stuff that make the experience better. What we willing to pay for something like that, just to make it monetary, and we can put to bed the idea of they not making no money off us outside of buying the game. They get money from us, so they may care. Money drives the wagon.
One of the first improvements that they can put into 21 is allow free agency to be blind.
I agree with that totally, 100%.
That's one of the simple things that they can do right away.
Yep.
That no one should see anyone's bid. Ain't like you calling people on the phone when you negotiate. Hey, how much did the Bills offer?
Well, don't say that too loud because somebody might do that shit. But that's that's a whole other conversation. But yeah, I agree with that. And then make it a blind advance. Like we can set the time as administrators. We can set the time and just walk away from it, and it'll advance on its own. So we'll know the time internally, but it won't be a public thing. So it will just boom advance it. It's at like 4 o'clock.
I think that's minor to complain about, and anyone that feels like they complain about that. Like, it's hard at times, I know, because we all, like, it's supposed to advance on certain times and somebody come in and swipe you. That's grimy. But it's so hard. Somebody's always going to know what time the advance is going to be.
And they're always going to be sitting there doing nothing.
Always have an advantage over the rest of the league. So, I mean, it's hard, but
it's extremely frustrating, Five.
It happens to real a lot.
I know.
It happens to real a lot.
I know. Like for example, I had a safety. It was my advance, right? Last off season, I was bidding on a safety. I was about to advance it, and Joe came in and bid on the safety. So, in good faith, I just advanced it. Even though I could have just went in there and did some grimy shit and got a bid in there. I just that safety he got. Me and him were bidding on. Joe could tell you. I was bidding on, and Joe came and bid, and then he had the final bid when I went and logged on. I was like, okay, so I'm just going to advance.
Right.
So, but it's always going to be that where somebody has an advantage. I had the advantage. I
mean, but your first problem solves the second problem. If it's blind bids, it doesn't matter what time.
Yeah, you won't know. Nobody knows who got the advantage. Exactly. Yeah, nobody knows who has the advantage. Yeah, I agree with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The bids have to be blind. There's no way you should be seeing what someone's offering. That way, like you said, that first problem solves the second. That's
right. Then you got fools like Grow. You remember when Grow bid like 200-something million on Clowney that one year, just to outbid everybody. Clowney was in free agency. He was young. He was young Clowney, and he put every bit of his salary cap on Jadeveon Clowney, and got mad when he couldn't sign nobody else. Yeah, so unless you do something like that, then I definitely think that if it's blind, nobody knows who's winning the bid and this and the third, which is the real life. I mean, if I'm calling up if I'm calling up, Jadeveon Clowney right now, he's not telling me what the Browns offer him and what who the Jets offer him. He's not telling me none of that. He's saying what you got, what's your contract like, and how much you're offering me, and that's just it. I'm not going to tell you that they offering me 10 million or 12 million a year. I'm just say what's your offer. If it ain't good enough, then I'm not going to sign. Period.
Right.
You lose your bargaining leverage if you tell people what you're making or what you being offered. So they might try to lowball you.
That's the first immediate improvement that they can make.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Little stuff that they can start adding in. But again, I really don't believe it until
you see it.
Yeah, because it's money.
Yeah,
there's no money. There's no way to make money. Try to find ways to make money, Madden, on franchise mode. There's no way.
Right.
You just can't.
I hear you. All right, let's go to rail next.
Make somebody buy cleats. That's whack. I don't care.
Yeah, everybody tripping off that.
Damn default cleats.
Right. All the default cleats are fire anyway. I like most of the default cleats as it is. So I ain't gonna pay for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Armbands. I don't give
a fuck. Ain't shit about that.
Turf tape. Ability boost.
Right.
I need ability boost.
Right. Or they make you pay for abilities. That'd be you got to buy MUT points to get abilities. If you want ability on your player, you got to buy MUT points.
Fascinating check in the franchise.
Right. Oh man.
65 rookie drafted in the 6th round superstar.
Right.
Like, nah, that'll be out of control.
All right, let's go to rail next.
So the question is, what bothered me the most?
In Madden 20, yeah.
I'm gonna say the overpowered run game.
Mm-hmm. Somebody had to say it.
I'm sorry, man. It bothers me. It's ridiculous. The rushing numbers are ridiculous. You can't. I mean, you got to sell out to stop the run. I mean, it's crazy, man. Stretches and it's just corny to me, man. Like I hate it. I probably hate it more than anybody on here, man. Like maybe D-Bev might hate it a lot.
Well, not today, because this man Cochran had about 150 yards on the Browns today. But go ahead though.
Oh yeah, I don't like that Cochran dude either. He's that's a dude. Hey, MDC. That's a dude that carried Jamal in the end zone like 5 yards on
the same dude. Oh yeah, shit! Oh damn! Oh damn!
It was a close game. Like our game's been pretty close, so
right.
that was a big drive. But anyway, the run game, man, it's just like that shit is so unrealistic.
It is.
That shit is ridiculous. Like it's some running backs, man, that would have died in real life. How many times they carry the ball in their career?
Big facts.
Some of them are injury prone in real life,
right?
And they would be dead by now.
I agree. I definitely agree.
But they keep towing the rock. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, I can't hate on the player. You know what I'm saying? That's
don't hate the player, hit the game, right?
They just trying to win. They're just trying to win. I mean, it pissed me off, but I really can't hate on them. They trying to win a game. You know what I'm saying?
What baffles me about the whole entire defense, when you launched this game, you had to know that the edge defenders don't hold the edge at all, no matter who you are. The D lineman gets pushed back 2 yards every clip, no matter who the lineman is. They get to the second level. They hope we got single blocking on good players, like good DTs. They're getting single blocked by one guy who's a 50 overall, and the guard is getting to the second level every time. You very rarely see a double team. Like in past Maddens, if you had 3 down linemen, you have 3 double teams, and nobody ever got to the second level. Now you got single block on the 3 linemen, and they're getting blocked. They're not getting shedded with 99 block shed, and the guard and both guards are getting to the second level on the linebackers. So you got a clean path for 5 yards, easy every clip.
And I could be getting a little too technical, but like when I was playing, when a lineman was coming towards me, a guard, and I'm a DB, even you, NBC, you play linebacker. If it's a big lineman coming towards you, I'm cutting him.
Oh yeah,
like
create a pile.
I'm not gonna
create a pile.
That's what you're supposed to do,
right?
And make a mess. So the running back has to
cut back, retrace the steps, or do whatever. Stop. Yeah.
On the game, they do the pursuit angles are horrible.
Another problem.
It's just bad, man. And like that's one of the big things that bother me about the game. And then you get a guy with, and see, I was one of the people that was like half and half with the abilities. You know what I'm saying? I will say though, if you got somebody with the, what is it, jukebox?
Yeah.
Or
human
what's the
joystick.
other one?
Human joystick.
Human joystick. Yeah, you getting juked out of your, juke the Nike sign off your
cleats,
man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and then the juking, that got part of that gotta be fixed too. Cause like, how do you juke 3 people at the same time and they all fall like the same way? Like that don't happen in real life, bro. Like I done seen people run a stretch, get to the sideline, boop boop, and 4 people fly out of bounds. Right. Like, come on, bro. That's just
that goes back to that post Tayo keep putting out there, but the mud dude, they had Bo Jackson. Like, you know, they're talking about how he juked one dude, spun on another, stiff arm a dude like a choke slam, like he was WWE Undertaker, you know, and then carry 2 other dudes in the end zone. I mean, like, there's no counter for that. But, you know, and I think that, you know, that goes back to the conversation we had about having abilities, like we could turn certain abilities off and keep certain ones, because certain ones were equalized. Because defense was so bad, you needed your abilities to play defense practically.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you like this. Enforcer saved me in games, especially
save a lot of people.
3 it won me games,
right?
Because people was running so much. And if
Jamal will come down the box,
you,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a wrap.
And I saw that they got Avalanche. That shit looks great.
The description says that if you tackle him behind the line of scrimmage, it's a fumble.
That might be OD because they got 2 people on the same team.
Exactly.
Even I'm gonna say that's OD. Like I gotta see how that play out.
You mean it's 2 levels? You got Bobby Wagner in the middle level, and you got Jamal Adams in the second, third level. Come on, you'll never complete a pass.
Yeah, that's wild. That is wild.
I know they hit stick you in coverage too. Like I know if they're backing up in coverage, they know they're gonna hit stick you, so you know you're gonna fumble.
Yeah.
Wide receivers ain't got a shot. Wide receivers ain't got a shot getting hit by either one of them at all. They're gonna fumble every time.
That was my only counter to the run game. Like I had these defensive linemen that were block shedding, you know what I'm saying? And I had great safeties. Like I drafted one that wound up being a
X factor.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that was my counter to the run game, you know what I'm saying? But now that, abilities is off, I gotta figure out.
You gotta scheme and sell out. Like you said.
I gotta scheme it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I scheme it up and stuff that shouldn't work just works. And that bothers me. That's the coach in me that just drives me crazy. You should not be running no stretch on this.
No, not at all.
I would audible out of it.
You got to. Like you got a defense that got crazy overhang, and you gonna talk about you gonna run outside?
Yeah.
No.
And they get there.
Yeah.
They get there.
Yeah. The tight end reaches the outside guy. You cut inside, off to the races.
Yeah, man. And I'm gonna give D Bev some credit, man, because I complain. He really got a reason to complain, and he really hasn't complained about his quarterback. Like his quarterback should be better. Like when we took the
he's too busy glowing. He can't complain if he's glowing. Why are you gonna complain?
But no, listen. He was going 8-8. He was still like this year he's killing. But he was going 8-8 every year, and then his quarterback got worse when we took the abilities off.
Right.
And he's like, his quarterback got worse like by a lot.
Yeah.
Like he can't get out the pocket.
Nope.
But he got better.
He did.
Yeah, that's what I'm giving him credit.
He got better. You see?
That's what I'm giving him credit. His game, I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get better. So, but I noticed him. He got better. And he never complained. I'm complaining like shit. I'm sorry. I'm complaining.
I'm with you.
And he did complain. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to give him credit for that because I'm complaining. Like, that's just me.
I have complained, but not like. I mean, we talked about the Lamar, and he can't scramble for crap, but it is what it is. It is what it is. It's not. It ain't my turn yet.
Go ahead. You up now, Bev? You up now?
You got him up now. All right. So I mean, my first thing with the franchise is actually the franchise itself. that would be the thing. I'm hoping to. I mean, okay, if you're not going to give us a better in-game experience, make the franchise a franchise. Yo, they don't have no more draft stories, no more hype about the players you're going to draft. You know what I mean? You don't hear, Adam Morrison coming on and talking his stuff. I mean, there's no more of that. You don't. The experience of scouting is trash.
Yeah.
Is not reliable. It's more fluff. You get lucky if you get lucky. Otherwise, good luck. And what else? I mean, everything else about running your team and managing your team is just, it's not, it's like robotic. Like, allow me to have some entertainment. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not going to give me the gameplay, give me this. And,
you know what somebody told me? I think I talked to the guy, the Full Verts on Twitter. He told me that, which is wild. He said the offline franchise roster and draft classes were 10 times better than online franchises, which makes no sense. Like, people that play offline franchises, it's just you. It's just you. You just playing by yourself in a 32-man league. Like, I mean, to each his own, but I'm not doing that type of shit. So why are those draft classes so bad in online franchise, but they're better in offline? That makes absolutely no sense. But that was the case. He said superstar X factors and fast quarterbacks and fast running backs and wide receivers, all this stuff was coming out every year. Like, it wasn't no situation where it was a down year or up year for a certain position. Every year there was talent everywhere. I'm like, bruh, like, that's backwards.
Why they don't like us, yo?
Exactly.
Why they don't like
us? Because we done had some bad drafts.
Oh my God, it's been horrible.
Well, like 6 good people and everybody else was
garbage.
Like, yeah, we done had some bad drafts.
Yeah, and when, like I said, you're only dealing with 7 to 8 drafts. So how do you combat that? Like, you can't turn your roster over if you got an older team if the draft class is always trash. You can't turn nobody into a good player. Like, I think you probably have 3 or 4 guys in 8 seasons that you probably kept. They're big time players. And that's it. And you talking about I draft at least 7 players per draft times 8. I mean, come on. That's a lot of players, and you only got 3 or 4 the mainstays. That don't happen. It just don't happen. So I don't know. But go ahead, Bev. You can continue.
No, yeah, my other joint was just like you said. I mean, we've talked about it a little bit before, and we talked about it a little bit here today. Is just finding the balance between abilities, because I love what they're trying to do with abilities. It makes sense. There's just no balance. Like, again, it's one of those things where, okay, yeah, it's great for, if you're playing MUT and competitive and all that, but when you talk about the longevity of a 8, 9 season online franchise, they haven't taken into consideration that those people who started out with X factors, they never lose it, or not even X factors. We're talking about abilities too. They never lose those abilities, but you're constantly increasing. You can develop over time, and now you just have a franchise, flooded with abilities. You don't have a balance between that, and then if you turn that off, a player like a Lamar Jackson, like, again, this goes back to archetypes. Like, you don't have the ability to say, okay, I have a fast ass quarterback. He should not be jogging, behind a lot of scrimmage when he's trying to scramble. Like, that just don't make sense. Like, it's like, I don't get the limited. It's really half baked, and I think this is coming from me from the product type, in me is like, you just really pissed. Like, how can you guys be that short sighted and not care? Like, it just really shows that you don't care about the product that you're putting out on this side of the on this side of the ball.
Right,
is ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, so yeah, that's my. I guess everything. I hate everything about it, and I'm hoping that everything changes. So.
I hate you. I hate your guts. I hate you and nobody else but you.
Yeah, man.
I got you. All right, let's wrap it up with Tayo.
All right, I got a list.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm listening.
So I agree with Bill's point. I see what they were doing with the X Factors. Like, I get it. Like, it's a 2K kind of like knockoff, right? From how they do like badges. They should have done badges. They should have done something like that, gold level. So you have different levels. You can still have an enforcer, but this guy is a top level enforcer, so his power is greater than like a lower level guy.
Right.
The Insta Shed killed me because and that goes hand in hand with the run game, because everybody started running the ball, because every time you try like to pass, if you got an edge rusher, that's for 55 sacks a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can still rush 3. You could double him. That means the other guy on the other side is eating.
Right.
And that was crazy. The psychic cornerback, especially in man-to-man coverage, I'm running a dig and a streak. I throw the dig. The guy that's guarding the streak, who has his back turned,
Right.
will stop on a dime and be like, "Oh, there's the ball."
The moment the ball is thrown, he'll automatically react. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He has no idea where the ball is. Like, how is that? Well, you're not even looking. You're looking at the receiver. This is that drives me crazy. Or like the depth that they'll get. It's crazy to me. The pass height and pass depth they've never been able to fix.
I'm glad you brought that up because that was gonna be mine. I'm glad you brought that up.
If the guy's 15 yards behind you and you're 10 yards underneath, the linebacker's jumping up and making that interception. It's happened less since we turned abilities off.
It still happens though.
It still happens. And the lurking has always been a problem in Madden. Like people, it's a skill to have in Madden to lurk, but it should never have been the game from day one. And they finally decided, okay, this year 21, the only hope I had. They're like, oh, we're going to fix change of direction. They've had that in FIFA for like 10 years. Like, you sprint in one direction, you got to like chop step and then come back.
Okay.
Madden should have had that because again, once I see you commit to the slant, I can throw a streak behind you. You should not be able to and then just like there you're right there.
Right.
Like, all everybody does is grab a 90+ speed linebacker with good acceleration and they just man the middle of the field.
Yep.
And then they force you to throw it outside, and they just set their defense outside, and then it just limits what you can do.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of stupid. The last point I have is not really this Madden, but it's the emergence of YouTube, and I think that's become a bigger problem in all video games, but especially in sports video games, because everybody just goes with the meta. They go in there, they figure it out. I see everybody's playbook look exactly the same. Not everybody's, but you know what I'm saying? Like you see a playbook, you be like,
certain core things are in the same. Everybody's playbook. Certain core things.
Yeah.
Everybody got to stretch in their playbook. Don't lie. Like so, everybody got to stretch. This year, everybody got to stretch. At least one stretch.
I've seen more tight formations in the last 2 months where everybody's running shotgun tight or single back tight, and I've never seen them run tight formations ever in life. And now all of a sudden, here they come, and I'm like, this must be the new meta. Because everybody's doing it. They found some play where this guy's running a C route, this guy's running in, he's running drag behind it. Like it's, you know what I'm saying? It's just like YouTube has made it so that you don't have to come up with your own shit anymore.
Right.
Before YouTube, it's like you had to do your own research, you get in the lab, do your own work. Now it's like, I wait for the games out about 3 weeks. I go on YouTube, put the hot shit, add to my playbook, done. Wrap it up. You know what I mean? So, that's my list. That's pretty much it.
That's a damn good list. That's a damn good list. Anybody want to chime in on that before I move on?
That was a good list, man.
It was.
That was a good list. I didn't even think about the badges. The badges, that's actually a good idea, man. Like, cause how the badges work on 2K. You can get the badge and then you can upgrade the badge, and it's not necessarily like it's not as overpowered as like how it is. Yeah, like if you have a guard and you have space creator, that's a badge. Like it helps you create more space on your moves, but there's levels to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to get to a Hall of Fame level with like that badge, you're sacrificing something else. Like, cause it's gonna take time. Like, and I think that's a good way that they balanced it on 2K. And I didn't even really think about that. Yeah, that was good. I think that will work. That something in that similar to that will work good with the abilities.
There should be a counter. Like, like there was that thing like Luke Kuechly can't be juked, right? Like he has
unfakeable, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. But if you had a Hall of Fame juke guy against Kuechly, he should be the only guy that can possibly juke him.
Right.
You know what I mean, like a guy with bronze or something, he's gonna make that tackle because he's trash. I'm great. But there should be a counter for everything. So enforcers should have a counter, like a truck guy should be able to at least not get hit stick every single time by an enforcer.
Right.
I mean, like that's kind of how it works. You got a 20-pound running back, so he should get fucked every time.
Right.
But everybody else should be able to counter. You know what I mean? Different levels, so it shouldn't be as overpowered.
But is that football really? That sounds like something else. It sounds like a game that it's fantasy at this point. Like you might as well just play coach. Like,
but I hear what you're saying. 5. I kind of disagree with you because how do we make sure that the players that are better behave better than players that are not? You know what I'm saying? It got to be some way that a 99 overall player plays better than someone that's a 70 overall. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
How do we
and
do
the way
that?
you do that is what we talked about earlier in the call. You start making the abilities based on like the rookie quarterbacks, right? You can't hot route. You just got in the league. It's game one. You know,
Yeah,
but that way, but then then you make a running back. You know, players have to earn more of their stripes, and
but
that's a
that's
way
what
to police it.
I
that's
think
what
y'all saying the
Tyler was
same
saying
thing.
though.
I think that's what he's saying.
Like the badges, you don't get that shit off the break. You gotta earn, and it take a little while, like to earn those badges. Like you just can't get them. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta go through some time, some games. I think he was kind. That's what he was kind of saying. Like
Yeah,
you know what I'm
it
saying?
should be a very granular change, like not like the difference between Hall of Fame, like the top level badge and the lower level badge. That's a gap, right? But only a very select few should get them. Right now, once you get X Factor, you become elite.
So,
Right.
but then you got to factor in like college ratings. You got to factor in ratings for the player. You got to factor in abilities in college.
So
where
you're 100% correct. Just because you have enforcer, if your hit power is not good, that shit is meaningless.
That's a great point. That's a great point.
Yeah.
You got 99 hit power, you should be Hall of Fame. But if you got 85 hit power, it should be less.
If you have 80 hit power,
Right.
you can get like a bronze enforcer, which is essentially useless.
Right.
But if you're 92 hit power, now you have the ability to possibly earn, like, you know what I mean? Again, and it should be, like Ron was saying, you have to earn the shit out of that. Where it
right. No, I play 2K. I got you. I got
yeah, yeah. What I mean,
but you're looking at it like this though, like, and that's dope because then that will be the separation is like what like Rel was saying. But if you have no badges, or excuse me, if you have players with badges or players with abilities, it should just be so far and few in between. I'm comfortable with like you talked about. Lamar Jackson should be faster than everybody on your defense because he is.
Right.
So and he should be. I've seen where he tries to run out the pocket. You know what I mean? And he seems like he's stuck in the mud. Like we talked about before, players, it shouldn't be everyone can earn these abilities. So yeah, you're right. The badges take a while to earn. You know what I mean? And it takes. So yeah, I guess that'll go with the progression. The guy's a rookie. He should come in with a, I don't know, but I get that eerie feeling when we start talking about enhancements.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? But we do have to separate. But I'm with you. We do have to separate the players because what's the difference? Everybody should just be 80 across the board. It's not going to make a difference, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? So I do agree we need a separation.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be when you're running a route, if you have an elite route runner and you put him in man to man against an 80 cornerback who has 80 coverage, he should get open by 5 yards every time.
Right.
So you should know as a coach, I can't put him in man to man. Either he needs safety help, or I need to put him in the zone so he can at least get some. You know what I mean? Just he ain't got to do this. But there's no difference. Like you can have a crap cornerback and he'll still cover like he's all world half the time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, and they have the idea of thresholds too. What is the problem? Having certain thresholds make certain things happen. Like if I have a 88 hip power guy, he causes more fumbles. Automatically, no matter if it's 88 to 99, he causes a certain level of fumbles, and that's just it. If he has a certain zone rating, he automatically breaks on the ball every single time, no matter what his awareness, his play rec is. Like his zone rating trumps everything else, outside of his normal awareness and play recognition. Like if your play awareness and zone is high, you should be elite breaking on the ball. But if one of those things are lacking, it shouldn't be every single time outcome happens the same way every single time.
Hey, let me ask y'all something. Is it realistic for someone to have 96 speed and 89 acceleration?
Nope. Nope.
Okay.
How does that work? That means it takes him forever to get the top speed, and he can hold that top speed forever. That's not realistic.
At all. At all.
Your acceleration should almost always be equal to or better than your top speed.
I have a receiver like that, and I've been trying to get an acceleration point for 4 years, and I haven't got one.
Damn. I'm sorry, bro. My apologies for Madden. I apologize for you for Madden. That's crazy. But you there. I like, I think that disparity is wild, because your 40 time, is your top end speed, and your cone and your shuttle is factors in your agility and your acceleration. Like your cone in your agility, your cone in your shuttle shouldn't be so bad, but your 40 time is so high that disparity is so bad. Like I can see 1 or 2 points maybe. You'd be a 92 speed, 91 excel, or 92 speed, 90 speed, and 90 excel, but the 89 versus 96, that's insane. And you can't boost it.
Trying to police it.
Yeah, I guess.
Let the players try to earn, what I mean, speed and acceleration.
Yeah, but like you said, he haven't got one in 4 years, so he was a waste.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. My condolences. I would be so pissed. I'd have probably cut him by now. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just worthless. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. But anybody got anything else before we move on? Okay. All right. Last topic of the day before we do our 1 minute wrap up. This is an interesting one because it's personal. We're going to say at our own opinion on where we're going to finish in this season. And I think everybody is either, on the outside looking in the playoffs or in the playoff hunt at this particular point in time is on this call. So what's your prediction for where you think you're going to finish? You're going to win a division. You're going to go deep in the playoff, win the Super Bowl. What's your prediction for your particular team in your own right? We will start with Tyler.
Well, let's put it this way. I'll be lucky to make the playoffs this season. I'll tell you why. I looked at one, and I like this, that my division has gotten tougher. I had Jester, but that was nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Maisie's not an easy game. He's not playing all that well right now, but he's not an easy game. Elias, dude, every game we've played, I won 3 last year. He beat me the first one this year, has been like within a touchdown.
Right.
Every game is like down the wire. I think our playoff game was overtime last year. So, I mean, he's balling. I have him left on the schedule. I got KT either today or tomorrow. I got ISO Joe.
ISO Joe.
I call him that from 2K because he literally clears outside the court and runs ISO all day. And in Madden, he runs HB ISO all the time. So it fits both ways.
Right.
So I got 3. I got Rel left. Like I got tough games left, and everybody else is like 8-2. 7-4, 7-3, whatever. So it's gonna be tough for me to get in. If I do get in, I might cause problems for somebody, but I didn't really do much of this off season because it was like a wrap for me anyways. So my team is slow. I don't have Roquan in the middle anymore. They just lurk all around the field. No insta-shed guys. My D-line is okay. I don't even have behind Tariq. And Mitch throws the ball where the hell he wants to still. So
what happens to the rookie quarterback you drafted?
I still have him.
Okay.
But, he comes off the bench every once in a while. I put him in, but he didn't progress. He was only, I think, normal development. He started development. So he didn't get to where I wanted him to get to last season.
Okay.
So yeah, it's gonna be tough, but we'll see. We'll see what it ends up.
So you saying wild card is at best?
I'd get lucky. I'd have to get hot right now.
Okay.
Get a wild card.
I got you. Okay. All right, that's what's up. All right, we're gonna go to we're gonna get this out the way now. We're gonna go to D-Beth.
Hey, where do I expect myself to finish? Higher than Jarrell. That's where I expect myself to finish. Anything else don't matter. It don't matter. As long as I finish higher than him, man. Nah. I'm shooting for I'm shooting for the run, man. I'm shooting for the run. That's my mindset. I've been here for way too goddamn long. I've been to 1 Super Bowl and I lost. I need to get back. I need to get me a banner am I the only dude in the front office without a banner? Wait, my bad.
Yeah.
5.
No, I ain't got one.
Oh yeah, we're 5 on him. I forgot. Yeah.
But still, I mean, hold on. Why do I get the flag? Never mind. That's another topic. Yeah, I mean, but no, I gotta get me one, yo. I gotta get me one. So that's what I'm shooting for. We'll see what happens. I got the 1 seed right now. You know what I mean? Shout out to MDC. You know what I mean? My money's on the Browns. Snarf. Yo, you snarf, bro.
I did not snarf. Stop saying that, bro.
He said,
I did not snarf.
I'm a quote. He said, my money's on the Browns. That's exactly
That's
how
not a
said it,
snarf.
that is the most condescending
That's a scoff.
way to say that, yo.
It's a scoff. Say scoff. I scoffed at you. Like, don't say snarf. Snarf sounds suspect. Like, it sounds cat-like. I don't like that shit. Say scoff. I scoffed at you.
Yo.
I shaded you. Yes, I did shade you. I will admit that I did shade you, but I have good reason to, because you always do that to me. I always give you high hopes. I have high hopes for you, and you let me down at the back half of the season. So until
it ain't over yet. I mean,
it's
we
not.
got, what, 5 more games?
Yeah. So.
You know?
Yeah, but I scoffed at you. I did not snarf. Let's just keep that straight. I scoffed at everybody in the North but the Browns, but it's definitely changing because the Browns have been losing and the Ravens been winning. So kudos, but I did not snarf.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So let's go to Real next, and we'll finish up with 5. And I will go ahead and end.
So coming into this season, I really didn't care. I was like, I'm gonna use these games just to like try different stuff. And I started off, I was, losing. And then it's like this game is like every time I'm trying to like not care, they just keep pulling me back.
Every time I try to get out, they put me right back in.
Yeah, man. Like, so I'm losing, and I'm like, and then I'm like 2-5 or some shit like that, and then I went 3 straight, and I'm losing 17-0 to the Vikings, and then I come back and win, and I'm just like, so now I'm like, I'm 5-5, I'm like right out of the little playoff picture or whatever.
Yeah, I think like 1 game out.
1 game out. I play Proto Nets. I don't play particularly well against them for some reason, but if I win, then I'm really in it. So I think I probably, to be honest, I'm probably gonna finish like 9-7. I want to run the table, but I got a couple of tough games, and I got a couple of games that are like very winnable, but I got a couple of tough games that I don't know. So I'm gonna say like 9-7. I'll probably just be outside the playoff picture. But if I go 11-5, 10-6, that'd be great. But
okay,
it's gonna be tough. So I'll probably say 9-7. To be honest with you.
Okay, all right. That's a good realistic prediction and assessment. All right, let's finish up with 5, and then I'll go.
Man, I don't never ever. I'm the worst with predictions because I'm so. I shoot for the
biased.
moon, man. Shoot for the stars. You feel me? Every time, like I don't really. I got some tough games coming up, but I don't even give a fuck. Use my lane. You understand? Like that's what it is. Like I'm a smack Joe next week.
Okay.
Prince, you know what I mean? That's a fact. He shouldn't even have won the last game, but he did. But so I mean, if you asking me, I'm unrealistic. Always. So I'm going to the fucking Super Bowl.
Okay.
And I'm gonna slap Bev.
Oh.
I'm confident.
Oh.
I'm confident. I want to play the Ravens so bad this year. I do. Nah, I'm just playing, yo, Bev. My man's shining though. I can tell.
I got something for that cover 0. It's all good.
Okay.
Gauge 11.
Gauge 11.
I
damn.
Coaches, stands, fans, everybody. I blitz the corners. You ain't looking, and I be catching people too. I blitz the corner, leave a dude wide open. People like, oh. By the time you even do that, you sack.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Y'all notice D-Bev got a different swag right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
I've been watching him.
Yeah, you see him?
Hey, man.
Dog podcast.
Yeah,
man. That boy's different.
Hey, man. Look, I said it
from... He got that just came home smell. Boy got to grow like he just came home.
Fresh out.
Oh, man. That's too funny.
Nah, but some real, though, I got some tough games. I still got KT. I got Joe. I got the Lions. I got the Jaguars. So I don't take no game lightly, but I mean they all winnable. You know what I mean? That's just the spirit of competition, and I'm never gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna lose this game." You'll never ever hear me say I'm gonna lose a game, ever. I could be losing the game, and I'm still gonna say I'm gonna win. That's just me. But that's unrealistic. He's like, nigga, it's the fourth quarter, 2 minutes left. Nigga, you're down 20. So
Right.
what?
Right. I'm with you.
Slap. Yeah, but no. Chips, Super Bowl or bust.
I'm with it. I'm with it. All right. Well, for the Chargers, man, I got murderous row down the stretch. I looked at my last 4 games. I was like, sheesh. I hope I'm in the playoff picture by this time, because these games is terrible. I got KT, I got Proto, I got the Bills and the Chiefs all back to back. Yeah. So wow. It's either first round bye or hope for a wild card, depending on how I play. But if you're in the dance, you got a chance. Word to D-Bell, right? So I mean, all I gotta do is get in the dance, and every time I play the wild card, what I'm saying, it's been pretty good for me. So I mean, it is what it is. So I mean, I'm going just like Fox. I'm going in every game thinking I'm gonna, try to play my best, and I'm gonna try to win. You know what I'm saying? Try to shut you down and put the points on the board, and we're gonna see what happens. But it's just I'm looking at Lombardi's on the back, my backdrop now, so I'm trying to get one more. It's always what it's all about. It ain't never not about that. So we're gonna try to get this money.
Yeah, you know what we missing? Y'all remember when we used to do the write-ups?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was dope. I mean, nobody ain't gonna sit there and type that shit up no more.
I know.
But we need to have segments for that. I was just thinking about that. Like,
yeah, I mean,
talk more about like changes in the game, which is dope. Like we're conscious of what's going on, but like we need to get more in depth. Maybe coming in next year with, like reviews, game reviews, and player stats, and really go in about that, right? You know what I mean, and try to stay with that, because that's dope too. That's the part that keeps us engaged. That keeps us in the moment. You know what I mean? Because we can look to the future, which is great conversation, but it ain't happening, right?
Yeah, and that's part of the reason why I added it to the rookie review, because I felt like that was missing.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, it was missing, because we don't have the cycles or the life cycle or the time frame to do 2 streams. I mean, because when we started doing streams together, we was just doing that. Then it matriculated into us doing topics and bringing guests on and things of that nature. So we kind of got away from that. Now, if we had the time that we can put into it, like early in the week, we can do a stream just for that. And then on the weekend, we can do the stream like this. Like we can do topic-based stream, and so everybody can get a little bit of different content. Something like that, when we ain't got to wait for a content video that we putting out there, halfway through the season to get those type of things. So I mean, that's definitely something we can do. I mean, I'm down for it, because I like that part too. Because I was like, maybe on a Friday night we can do one, and then Saturday night we'll do the other. Something like that, depending on what people's schedules are like. So I'm with it.
Right, because by that time we advance probably twice.
Right.
In between, you know what I mean? It'd be some good stuff to talk about.
Right.
League leaders, playoff predictions. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But if we turn the abilities on, you can count me the fuck out. I don't give a shit. I'm not doing any reviews. I'll be here complaining the whole podcast.
Right. I'm with it. Okay. All right. Well, let's get into the 1 minute wrap up. We'll go down the line one more time. Anybody got anything they want to get off their chest? Something they want to bring up that wasn't brought up before, and we'll get on out of here. I'll start with Beth.
I'm just still waiting for a good game. Yeah, I mean, can I get a GG's in the chat? Yeah, that's all I'm waiting on.
How long has it been? It's been about 4 hours? 4 hours sitting no GG?
It counting, bro. Terrible, bro. That's all I gotta say about that.
I just want a GG.
I just want a double G.
That's it.
Sir.
That's
double
it.
G, please.
All right, let's go to Real next.
Yeah, I ain't really got much else to say. Respect to all y'all that's balling this year, man. Y'all, there's a lot of 8-2s, 9-1s, man. a lot of respect to y'all because it ain't me. You know, if anybody want to laugh, you know, help a brother out. My offense is atrocious right now, and so. But I mean, it's the last season, so I'm just going, you know, doing what I can do. But I appreciate all y'all, everybody that's winning. Keep doing y'all thing.
That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, Ty, you up?
Yeah, man. No, I think it's, you know, the only thing that keeps me here is, you know, the league itself is that, you know, y'all keep it fun, keep it light, and all the chat and everything else is always entertaining. So, you know, I mean, the game has lost me for a little while here, but you know, it's still fun to be in the league. Yeah, man. Hopefully 21 is better. You know, and it becomes something that everybody's, you know, gets engaged with again. So, have my fingers crossed. See what happens. But yeah, it's still fun in here, man.
That's what's up. All we can do is hope for the best. All right, Fabs, on you.
No, I'm really enjoying the camaraderie that the chat is showing. I'm really enjoying the podcast. I'm really enjoying all you brothers. We find a couple more brothers that we can fill the league. I'm enjoying everybody in the league. Folks seem like they're, you know, vibing, and it's, you know, it's not too friendly in there, but it's wolves in there. But you know what I mean. It seems I'm happy where the league is going. And I definitely think that, you know, when you started doing these podcasts and these shows, it spit some life back into the league. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I definitely feel like that. So that's a big, you know, credit to you, and the fact that you've been very consistent. I know how it is. I do podcasts. You know, you get amped up when the game come out. You do a couple of them, and then next week you're like, I'm gonna do it. You eat dinner, go to sleep, and shit. You know, so you forget. But I know how hard it is to be consistent, and that's one thing you have done. So, you know, it's a big credit to you, and I'm really enjoying all you brothers in the league.
And when was the last time you was able to say that? When was the last time you was able to say that?
A long time,
right?
And that's where I think the core of the people we have now. I think we need a couple more. You know what I mean? But I really feel like we can move forward with this unit. You see what I mean? Just like I said, get a couple more people that's men of integrity, or not so much all that, but you know what I mean? Just people that play the game the right way and that can handle healthy competition, and, you know. So I appreciate all y'all.
Yeah, I'm definitely with that sentiment. I mean, you know, I definitely appreciate everybody's dedication, you know, because Madden 20 wasn't easy to put up with. You know what I'm saying? It just definitely wasn't easy to put up with. You know, people stuck it out. You know, nobody said I'm going to, you know, just bow out and quit and this, that, and the third just because of this and that. Oh, I wasn't winning. You know, they stuck it out. They gave us 8 seasons, you know, whole year's worth of Madden. You know, it's not an easy thing to do. You play 3 games a week for 52 weeks out of the year. I mean, that's tough. So, I mean, I definitely appreciate everybody's dedication, you know, and I hope that we keep that same energy going into 21. You know, that I don't know if we realize this, but we probably like a week away from EA access. So, I mean, the new game's going to drop, and we're going to finish this season, and we're going to be right into the new one. So, I mean, it's definitely going to take people's, you know, focus, you know, to try to, you know, make sure that we're doing everything we need to do as far as getting the new game ready to go and getting the franchise set up. So just be mindful of that. But outside of that, man, I appreciate everybody that's giving their time for the podcast and giving their time for the league, man. It's definitely been love.
Yo, can I give a quick shout out real quick? I want to give a quick shout out to the Eagles. Eagles dude.
Hood, yeah.
Hood is losing. He's 0-something, but he never plays the game the wrong way, and he never disappears. That shit matters more than anything. Like,
it does.
You know what I mean?
It does.
It's so important. And he lives in Hawaii.
Right.
You see what I mean? So, like, big shout out for sticking it out. You know what I mean? It's terrible to be terrible or to be struggling. You know what I mean? It sucks. Man, shit. But no, big shout out to Hood. Hood is that's real.
It's good people.
Even when he plays, he's trying to really beat you.
Oh, he'll give you a game now. Don't get it twisted. He'll give you a game.
So
he'll give you a game.
So big shout out.
That's what's up. All right, man. Appreciate everybody's time, man. You know, we could, like I said, we'll try to keep it as consistent as possible. We may take, depending on how man goes and Peter how the season goes, we might take a week off here or there, but I'm gonna try to do consistent content leading up to Madden 21, if at all possible. But as always, tune into our YouTube, MNFL Sports One. Tune into our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/MNFL_network, and follow us on Twitter at the MNFL. In the meantime, in between time, we'll see you on the next one. This has been episode 6 of Around MNFL. Peace.